WRC Academy, the stepping stone to the World Rally Championship, the school where drivers are nurtured and prepared for the big time. But only the best succeed. 20 young drivers, 20 Ford Fiestas, and the world's toughest roads. For many, this is where it all begins, where stars are made and futures are founded. For others, WRC is all too much. The road to the World Rally Championship begins right here. Welcome to the 2011 WRC Academy Season Review. Join us for the next hour as we take a look back over the inaugural 2011 WRC Academy season, catching up on all the action from all 6 rounds of the year. The drivers themselves talk us through their experience in the WRC.
To be involved in a fight like that, both in identical cars, you know, what better way to prove yourself as a young driver.
We'll take an in-depth look at the Academy car, the Fiesta R2, as well as the men who started their career in the junior categories and are now dominating in the pinnacle of the sport. But before all that, what is the WRC Academy? Well, it replaced the outgoing Junior World Rally Championship. Escalating costs made the JWRC an unachievable option for many of the young drivers looking to break into the top flight. Something had to be done, and at the start of 2011, the WRC Academy was born. An all-new one-make series in the form of identical M-Sport prepared Fiesta R2s was designed to take the future stars of the WRC and prepare them both on and off the stages for the pressure of World Championship rallying. WRC Academy principal Mark de Jong, FIA manager and former rally legend Michel Mouton and M-Sport's Malcolm Wilson have been pivotal in getting the Academy on the road.
The Academy mixes a sporting competition with some training and education. In rallying, probably more than any other sport that I know at least, experience is very, very important, and this is a way for these guys to get their experience in a cost-effective way. And motor racing is never going to be cheap, but this is as affordable as it comes. All the cars are identical, all the tyres are identical, everybody's got equal chances, and so it really is the best man or woman to win.
It's just an incredible opportunity for all these youngsters. I mean, the whole time I've been involved in the sport, there's never been anything quite like this. So I just hope that they all take full advantage of it, and I'm sure we're going to see the next world champion out of it.
The purpose, of course, is that the Academy should be the base for new talents from all different nationality, and to help them, you know, with a scholarship of €500,000 after the first season to help them to continue in WRC. So I think it's a really good ladder to get them to the top of our discipline.
And that €500,000 scholarship would go a long way to funding a career in World Rally, and the students knew the importance of being top of the class right from the very off.
I think at the minute it's one of the very few opportunities that there is out there. The prize is exceptional, €500,000, and it can't be taken lightly, so it's a really good opportunity.
It's a really big year for opportunities, and I'm also part of the FI Institute Academy. So a year of a lot of learning and a lot of experience. So
a half a million euros scholarship towards next year would go a long way in putting a campaign together for the SWRC or something like that, or even if we can try and round up the cash, we can try and do the World Championship next year in a World Rally car. So it's the opportunity is mind blowing, you know, and to think that we may have the chance of doing it. You know, the competition is going to be tough, but I can't see why we won't win, and why we can't win for that matter. So it's really something.
Made up of 6 rounds, the series started in Portugal before heading to Sardinia, Finland, Germany, France and Wales. Each round was made up of just 2 days, taking in Friday and Saturday stages, with Sunday dedicated solely to a debrief and technical classroom work. The scene was set, 20 young drivers, all desperate to take that €500,000 prize and claim the honour as first WRC Academy champion. No room for preschool nerves as the series rolled into Portugal for round 1 of the championship. The streets of Lisbon reverberated with the sound of 20 Fiesta R2s thundering around the Thursday night Super Special. Thousands of fans flocked to the stage to see the cars in action. But it was Friday morning when the Academy arrived in the Portuguese mountains for the gravel stages that the real work began. As many anticipated, Craig Breen took an early lead, the former Fiesta Sporting Trophy champion, drawing on all his previous experience of the R2, immediately stamping his authority on the rest of the field. Another man drawing on previous experience was Jure Lemes, the former 2010 star of the JWRC, seemingly the only man able to challenge Breen for top honours. Meanwhile, Australian Brendan Reeves began well, climbing as high as 5th, but he was the first to suffer the wrath of the Portuguese roads with a puncture on stage 3.
9 left on Chris, 120.
Checking the jaw side. Just have a look first, quick.
As the Academy headed out for the afternoon loop, lady driver Molly Taylor had made a cautious start to the rally, running in 10th, but perhaps not cautious enough. A lapse in concentration going into this medium right was enough to catch her out and send the Fiesta into a roll. She was able to get going again, but 3 minutes was lost in the process.
Can't turn it off. Can we get people rolls over?
We just came around a right-hander and we just ran to the edge of the road and the wheel just must have tripped on a rock and flipped us over. So just one of those things, and we're like, we can keep going now, but obviously haven't actually seen the extent of the damage yet. So we'll hopefully get it going for tomorrow.
The second and final day of Rally Portugal for the Academy took in 6 stages, totalling 148 competitive kilometres. With Craig Breen now so far out in front, the Irishman headed into the stages brimming with confidence. History in the making, Craig was well on his way to take the first ever Academy victory. Meanwhile, Jose Suarez was the first to properly test the safety cell of the Fiesta R2 with this spectacular roll on stage 9. Both he and co-driver Candido Carrera were unharmed. But what happened next would change the scene of the whole event. Craig Breen, rally leader, misheard a pace note on stage 10. With his Fiesta well and truly off the road, he was going nowhere and his rally was over.
Yeah, it was bitterly disappointing. After leading the rally from pretty much the first proper stage, he just went over the bank. It just felt so stupid because it was such a low-speed accident, such a silly mistake, and it was just such a low point, possibly one of the lowest points of the whole year.
With Breen out, Alistair Fisher, nephew of Irish rallying legend Bertie Fisher, was leading the rally, but with just 2 stages to go before the end of the event, he too made a mistake and rolled out of contention.
Oh, you don't believe it, Don.
Further down the field, Sweden's Victor Henriksson was capitalising on the misfortune of others to climb up to 2nd place. A fantastic start to his championship. Victor hung on to close out his weekend in the runner-up spot. Germany's Christian Riedemann also proved his pace early on in the year. Despite not taking a single stage win in Portugal, Christian's consistency paid off to secure the final podium spot. But up at the front, it was 2010 Estonian champion Egon Kauer who made history. He cruised to victory in his Fiesta to claim the first ever win in the WRC Academy Championship.
Egon has a huge smile on his face. The first time the FIA Academy is running, you've the winner of the first round.
Well, I can't explain it in words. I can't be happier. This morning it really started out bad, but we're here now, and it's incredible feeling,
Yeah, a dream start for us. Our strategy for Portugal was, in the beginning, take it easy, see what speed the other guys have, where we are with our speed, and then develop through the stages. But things evolved like this, that we finally managed to snap the leading position and win the rally.
So there's confirmation of Egon's historic victory. He was followed by Henriksen and Riedemann, while Brendan Reeves and Alistair Fisher recovered from their problems to close out the top 5. Coming up, can Kaur make it 2 out of 2 as the Academy headed for Sardinia? And we'll take a technical look at the Fiesta R2 Academy car, as well as catch up with the former stars of the Junior Championship. Don't go away. Welcome back. The JWRC has an impressive pedigree of past champions, and if ever you needed proof that the junior category is the stepping stone to the World Rally Championship, then look no further than the current crop of top WRC drivers. Citroën Sebastian Loeb dominated the 2001 Super 1600 Championship, winning every event he entered, while his 2011 teammate Sébastien Ogier took the JWRC title in 2008. Both men agree that their experience in the junior category has been invaluable to their progress.
It gives you the experience of the rallies now, and also the experience of the fight with the other drivers, and it gives you the opportunity to show what's your speed, and so I think it's a good championship to prepare WRC.
It's good because first point you are competing the same events of WRC, so for your experience it's good, and then you are in contact, in touch with all the main team, and it's a good opportunity to meet them and to show what you can do. But yeah, everybody knows that there is not so much opportunity to have an official seat in WRC, so it's better to race already in junior with a bit in relation with the team.
Another current WRC team fielding former stars of the Junior Championship are Mini. Danny Sordo won the junior title in 2005 after blowing the competition away with 4 wins and a second place in just 6 events. It was pretty clear that Danny was destined for bigger things. In 2006, he was snapped up by the Citroën World Rally team as their number 2 driver, where he flourished, helping the French marque seal 3 consecutive manufacturers' titles. Meanwhile, his current teammate Chris Meek is another man who earned his rallying stripes in the junior category. In 2005, Sordo may have won the championship, but Meek also impressed, finishing 3rd overall. Now piloting a Mini WRC car, he also looks back on his junior days as critical to his career.
I moved away for 3 or 4 years, and now I'm back in a World Championship, and now I'm really missing that experience of the stages I had back then. So yeah, it's vital, and to be in there fighting with other guys for tenths of seconds, it really improves your game, you know, and that's what really cuts your teeth and you know, and gets you into the groove. So yeah, a lot of drivers have come through that.
Round 2, and the island of Sardinia played host to 18 Academy cars and drivers. But after such a successful start to the championship in Portugal, Sardinia was to be a very different story. Preserving the car was key. The rough Italian roads have broken many a WRC machine in the past, and as it turned out, Italy had one large rock in its armour waiting for the Fiestas. Straight into the action, and the drama began immediately. Just 5 kilometres into stage 1, an oil pipe on Alistair Fisher's Fiesta worked loose. The result was terminal engine damage, and his rally was over.
Say again. Just stop.
However, it was stage 4 that would write the story of the rally. As the Academy cars filtered through the infamous Monte Gregini stage, a hidden rock which may not have phased a WRC car turned out to be a very real problem for the Fiestas. A total of 8 cars all slammed into the same boulder. The result, a broken oil sump and a large retirement list. The victims included rally leader Craig Breen, as well as local drivers Andrea Cragnola and Matteo Brunello.
Ok. Sacrifica destra 4, inversione destra stretta. E ciao, basta.
The rocky Sardinian roads were baring their gnashing teeth. 18 cars began by midday service on day one. Just 7 remained. One of the men that did remain, however, was championship leader Egon Kauer, and he began punching in stage-winning times to end day one in 4th.
When I seen all the cars starting to pack up behind me, it made the situation a little bit better for me. But to see Egon driving past it and have no issues was just bitterly disappointing again. It was just pure luck, because it showed, nearly more than half the field hit this rock, and to this day I still don't know what he done to go around it. But that was the way it was.
As Egon soldiered on in 4th, it was Germany's Christian Riedemann who led overnight from second-place man Fredrik Arlin. But after that car-breaking stage 4, as well as other problems during the afternoon, just 5 cars made it to the end of the day unscathed. A long night lay ahead for the Academy mechanics. After working through the evening, 11 Academy cars made it to the start line on the final day, including Breen. But it was Riedemann who led the Academy into the final day. Instant disaster, though. As soon as he launched his Fiesta into the stage, the drive shaft let go, and instead of powering towards his first victory, his Fiesta simply limped off the line, covered 5 metres, and crawled to a stop. Riedemann was out. This handed the lead to Arlin, but the drama continued. In stage 11, Fredrik faced the terrifying prospect of his Fiesta's bonnet coming up mid-stage, and, unsurprisingly, he lost his advantage. Once again, Egon Kauer was there to pick up the pieces, and by stage 10 found himself in a familiar position, leading the WRC Academy. For the recovering Craig Breen, the disasters just kept on coming. The Irishman suffered a rear wheel hub failure just 4 kilometres into the final stage. He managed to complete on 3 wheels, and some quick thinking from both he and co-driver Gareth Roberts meant they were able to strap a wheel to the car, albeit not turning, and effectively dragged the Fiesta back to service.
The rules say you have to come into service with all 4 wheels on the car. You came into service with all 4 wheels on the car. One of them wasn't physically turning, but there were 4 wheels on the car. How are the stewards going to look at this?
Well, as far as I can see, the rule is black and white, and maybe possibly it's a loophole, but we've done it. There's 4 wheels in the car and we've entered service, so I can't see where the problem is really.
While the stewards were reviewing Craig's journey back to service, Egon Kauer was out on stage, proving consistency pays. Once he snatched the lead, he never looked back to hang on for his 2nd successive win in the WRC Academy.
Where do you think you can go from here? 2 wins out of 2?
I think 3 out of 3 maybe. maybe a hat trick or something like that. So, yeah, yesterday it didn't look really good, very good, but today has been really good, and the result, well, I can't wish for anything more.
There's confirmation of Kauer's win in Sardinia. Miguel Baldoni hung on for 2nd ahead of Fredrik Arlin. Meanwhile, Craig Breen was given a 12-minute penalty from the stewards for driving the car back to service in an unacceptable condition. It was 2 out of 2 for Kauer, and 5 stage wins along the way gave him an overall tally of 58. Miguel Baldoni moved up to 2nd, with Reeves just 2 points behind.
We had some pressure on us already, because people were expecting that we should be now fast. We didn't expect that we can do it like 2 out of 2, but that someone or something decided differently, and we found ourselves on the 1st place again.
Not only does the Academy promote experience on and off the stages, what really sets this championship apart is the fact that it is a single-make series. The Fiestas are the perfect training tool for the step up to the WRC. Academy team manager Maciek Woda was the man on hand to give us a detailed insight into the junior machines.
My name is Maciej Woda, and I'm in charge of the team supplying cars for a new FIA WRC Academy. The car we have here is Ford Fiesta R2, which is basically the same platform as it used for Ford Fiesta WRC used by Ford Abu Dhabi team. Let's have a look under the bonnet. This is 4-cylinder 1.6 normal aspirated engine, which delivers 170 horsepower. What we have here is also 5-speed sequential gearbox, which gives the driver a similar way of changing the gears as they do in WRC cars. This car is a front-wheel drive car. Okay, that was the drivetrain of the car. Let's move on. Inside the car, we've got a gear stick. When we pull it backwards, we're changing gears up. When we're pushing forward, we're changing gears down. We also have hydraulic handbrake and display for the gear positioning. We keep a standard tacho because we have here a rev counter, but also a speedo, which is required on the road sections. The driver needs to know what speed he's driving with on the road sections, as the car needs to be road legal. What we also have here, what you can definitely see, is a roll cage, which is a safety device, and also a proper bucket Hans seats with the 6-point harness. This is a Fiesta R2. This is a single make series, which gives a plain level field for all the drivers. All the cars are identical, so everything is in driver's hand, which makes this really, really fantastic championship.
After a bone-crunching ride in Italy, the Academy moved on to the fast-flowing gravel roads of Rally Finland. Once again, the early leader was Estonia's Egon Kauer, and with 2 wins out of 2, he was the man to beat. But this misjunction cost him 20 seconds, and he dropped right down the Academy order. Instead, the pace setter was Alistair Fisher. Quickest on the opening 2 stages, he pulled out a healthy lead, and with Academy drivers awarded bonus points for stage wins, another couple of championship points were in the bag already. After the 3 Thursday evening stages, Fisher had built up a 20-second lead from Henriksen, with Craig Breen in 3rd. Breen had proved he had the pace to run at the front, but luck had not been on the Irishman's side. In Finland, however, it appeared his luck was changing. The car in the ditch belonged to Victor Henriksen, and Breen was now fighting Fisher for the lead. Brendan Reeves had made a solid start in 4th, and it was to get better on stage 7. The Australian acknowledging the danger ahead and showing caution as he approached another Fiesta that had gone off the road. Shockingly, it belonged to rally leader Alistair Fisher, and Reeves was now up to 3rd. And Fisher wasn't the only one in trouble. Pirelli star driver Fredrik Arlin had already had his fair share of wild moments. In stage 7, it was one wild moment too far. Up at the front, Egon Kauer had reeled in rally leader Craig Breen, and the pair were separated by just 2.4 seconds going into the final day. And that marked the start of one of the greatest battles ever seen in the Finnish forests.
It's been a okay day. We lost a lot on the long ones. Other ones were quite okay, but we tried to push not too much, and the other guys were pushing, and as you could see, there were some guys that went off, so it's a really tough rally.
Breen started the final day in the lead, but that was just the start of a remarkable sequence of 5 consecutive stages in which the rally lead changed hands. Breen got the gap to over 8 seconds at one point, but Kauer responded every time. Only on stage 16 did Breen manage to hold on to the lead, but the gap was still just 2.3 seconds.
To be involved in a fight like that, both in identical cars, you know, what better way to prove yourself as a young driver.
Breen now had the advantage, so Kauer set about overhauling his slender deficit of just 2.3 seconds on the penultimate stage. Amazingly, that was the 6th time the lead had changed hands between them.
I think there we were able to show that if necessary we can also be fast in very demanding roads, and it was it was amazing to have that push on the last day and then to switch places with Craig, and then that's what rallying is about.
So once again, Breen had to dig deep. Both drivers were pushing each other to greater and greater risks, and the Fiesta R2s were literally flying through the forests. Further back, Egon Kauer was absolutely on the limit. Craig Breen was 0.3 of a second away from his first Academy win on the greatest rally of them all. The final stage was cleared, and all the Irishman could do now was wait. And he wouldn't have to wait long. Kauer was already rapidly bearing down on the flying finish as he desperately tried to defend his tiny advantage. And amazingly, he did. Kauer won the rally by just 2.6 seconds. Heartbreak for Breen, and the Irishman was the first to congratulate his rival.
Well done, no, man. I mean it. I really.
Great battle, man.
Yeah, no, really.
That was
really
a great battle.
Well done. Well done. Brilliant.
Great battle. It's three wins out of 3, and this last stage, it was crazy. I wouldn't want to do it. Really, it was just so crazy, the condition on the last stage, and we were pushing hard. So the wish to win was just so big, and we're here, and incredible battle today.
So, Kauer claimed another victory by just 2.6 seconds over a devastated Breen. Timo van der Moral scored his first podium finish, and Brendan Reeves had to settle for 4th. As Egon celebrated for the 3rd consecutive time, his championship lead was starting to look unbreakable. At the halfway stage, he was an incredible 52 points ahead of Craig Breen, who was now tied on 36 points with Brendan Reeves. At the halfway point of the season, it was King Kauer, but as the Academy shifted from gravel to tarmac, things were about to change. Craig Breen was fighting back. And it's not just the drivers who've been learning their trade, the mechanics have as well. Join us after the break for all the action. Don't go away. Welcome back. Still to come, all the action from rounds 4 and 5 of the Academy, but this year hasn't just been about the drivers. Designed to give young hopefuls an introduction to the World Rally Championship in the company of the best drivers and on the best stages in the world, the WRC Academy competitors were reaping the benefits that the championship had to offer. But it wasn't just the drivers who were being given the opportunity to shine and build a career in the WRC. 12 of the Academy mechanics were students from Myerscough College in the UK, a leading educational institution in motorsport management. In association with M-Sport and under the guidance of WRC Academy manager Maciek Woda, the college and the Academy spent the year working together to provide the students with the experience they need to build a WRC career.
I've got a long association with M-Sport, with Malcolm Wilson, and as the college representative for M-Sport, I asked them how the college could help them, because Myerscough has a whole host of trained students who need experience. So we talked with Maciek, and I think Maciek was maybe a little doubtful at first.
I have to say, initially I was very cautious about it and very stressed about it, but since then it's been a fantastic idea, I think.
We've been along to just the Academy events, which are all in Europe. If my students can put on their CV that they've actually had WRC experience with the Academy helping forward, they must stand a fantastic chance of getting a really good position when they graduate.
M-Sport CEO Malcolm Wilson was instrumental in bringing the project to fruition, and he quickly saw the potential in the students.
I've obviously got my people here watching and monitoring the people on the events, and of course when they're out of the training, then and of course we get good knowledge as well back from the college as to when people are available, and hopefully, yeah, I'm sure in the future you will see a lot of these faces in the WRC team in the future.
When you're sending a CV to companies like M-Sport, for example, the guys will look at it and say, well, yeah, okay, but what is he going to do? Because does he know anything? Does he know how to, keep the spanner in his hand or whatever? When now we know those guys, so we can say, oh, hang on a minute, have a look on this one. You want to have him
So I think it opens a lot of doors for them.
It was on events that the students had to prove themselves, and at the midway point of the season, everybody was pleased with the progress of the academy mechanics, most importantly, the men behind the wheel.
It's a perfect environment for them to learn, you know. We're all young drivers learning, so, you know, why not have, a select few mechanics learning as well? And yeah, they're very enthusiastic young people wanting to learn, so I think it's a fantastic idea, and long may it continue.
It's a team sport, so everybody have to put all their effort in, and I think it's a good opportunity for them as well. And just as it is the academy, it's not only for the drivers, it's for the mechanics.
But what of the students themselves? The ultimate in-work experience, and they all understood the potential job opportunities a scheme like this could create.
It's really good. It's once in a lifetime opportunity, really. Obviously getting onto it has been one of the best things possible for me anyway.
It's everything that we wanted when we started the course, and we've got it before we've actually finished the course, so it's just brilliant.
Obviously with the college we've got onto the WRC Academy, and that's the best thing that you could ask for. What a starting block, you know, to get into the motorsport career.
With the help of everyone around you, it's just a great opportunity.
Learn about how to torque settings and all things like that, and how the suspension and brakes work and how they work together to come into a full rally car.
A lot of it you can't learn in lessons, you know, all the hand-on experience, you know, the pressure, everything like that you can't gain when you're at college, so it's such a good thing to be on, and I'm so glad that I got through to it, and everything's gone well for me, and hopefully everything will just keep going up in the future, and one day I might own a big team myself.
On to round 4, Germany, and the first tarmac event of the year. Craig Breen, specialist surface, and he needed a win. But championship leader Egon Kauer was not giving up.
It would be nice to leave Germany maintaining the 100% win record.
I'm sure it would be good, but I think we should be a little bit more realistic here, and just not to get over our heads and do what we need to do.
Straight into the action, and for second place in the championship, Brendan Reeves, it came early on. He slid off the road on the opening stage of the rally, and it cost him nearly 6 minutes. Inevitably, he dropped to the very bottom of the academy standings. Up at the business end, it was the tarmac specialists who were fighting for the lead. Juraj Lemez was the man who took the early advantage. Having driven the German stages in the JWRC in 2010, he was perfectly prepared for this tarmac test, and he put his preparation to good use, taking a total of 5 stage wins over the first day. But after the heartbreak of Finland, Craig Breen was not about to let Lemez run away with it. Despite taking just 1 stage win throughout the first day, he managed his times to keep Juraj within 30 seconds over the opening loop. Andrea Cugnola was also having a good weekend in 3rd, but he wasn't able to match the pace of Lemez and Breen ahead of him, which meant it was Spain's Juraj Lemez who ended the day in Germany on top. But he couldn't afford to ease off. Breen was pushing him hard, and as the first leg came to a close, the Irishman was his usual animated self, knowing he had some work to do on the final day.
I thought it would have dropped about 20 seconds or so, because I was driving like my grandmother all the way down the hills, and something's bent a little bit, so lucky. Luck is on our side for a change.
Your grandmother must be quick then.
She doesn't go, but she drives hard, in fairness, my grandmother.
As in Finland, the WRC Academy was set for a Day 2 showdown, but championship leader Egon Kauer was way down in 5th place. Lemez led the young hopefuls into the stages in his bid to claim his first victory of the year, and it all began well, taking the 2nd fastest time through the first stage, But on the following stage, his campaign for the win would come to an abrupt end. Outbreaking himself into a junction cost him nearly a minute. He dropped down to second, 16.2 behind Breen. So, with just 6 stages left to run, Craig Breen found himself in the hot seat and just had to keep it on the black stuff throughout the remainder of the day to ensure almost certain victory. Despite this, the Irishman was not backing off, but could he hold his nerve? One man who couldn't was championship leader Egon Kauer. Running 5th, he was still on course for 10 points, a good result on a surface he's not familiar with. However, on the final stage, an uncharacteristic mistake from the championship leader saw him go off the road, puncture a tyre and damage the oil sump. The error cost him over 2 minutes, 3 places, and Egon had to settle for 8th overall. Instead, the celebrations were in car number 109. After such a difficult start to the year, Craig Breen finally prevailed, bringing his Fiesta home to take his maiden victory in the WRC Academy. Handshakes all round as a delighted Breen celebrated his first win.
Thank you. 30 points in total, including our stage wins, is fantastic. Egon, unfortunately for him, fortunately for me, had a fairly bad weekend, so it puts us in contention again, which definitely this weekend it wasn't looking so good, but now we're back on track.
So Breen finally hit the top of the leaderboard, while Lemes settled for second, 15.1 behind. Andrea Cragnola rounded out the top 3 in Germany, with Jose Suarez and Jan Cherney closing out the Academy top 5.
It was just an incredible feeling, you know. It was just a relief more than anything else that we had finally got the win. You know, what we've worked for has finally paid off, and it was onwards and upwards from there, really. I was extremely confident going to France then. You know, that was, as you said, a turnaround point. Another tarmac rally, another good tarmac rally with good roads, and I wanted to get there and hit the ground running.
Craig took half of the lead from us, but let's be honest, he did a good job there. He won a lot of stages, he won the rally, he won it fair and square, so we were lucky on the first ones. He did a good job on that one. So, yeah, we saw this is what this championship is about, to find the best driver. So we lost half of the points there, and then we just accepted it and went on to France.
With just France and Wales remaining, Breen was now 26 points behind Kauer in the championship. The fight for Academy honours and €500,000 was now a 2-horse race. As the round began in France, Breen's domination continued. He quickly found a rhythm that would prove unbreakable throughout the first day. He went on to take 6 stage wins out of 8, take the rally lead and build up a 25-second advantage over Spain's Jure Lemes. Another Spaniard who began well was Jose Suarez. After his 4th place in Germany, he was going for one better, embroiled in a battle with Alistair Fisher for 3rd. Meanwhile, Egon Kauer was having an awful start to his rally, and off on stage 3 signalled retirement for the day and another overnight job for his mechanics.
I made a mistake. I had small loss of concentration. Really odd situation. I had this one spectator waving, and I thought I have to slow down. I realized that he was just waving, but then I missed the note from my co-driver, and we slid off the road and then damaged the front of our car, and we were unable to continue though.
All this played straight into the hands of Craig Breen. The Irishman was following the script. Get to the front, stay there, and keep the championship alive.
We just found a very, very nice rhythm, and everything's working really well. I put a big emphasis into preparation for this one, and the recce seems to have really stood by me. It's just been a really, really good day.
So at the end of the first day in the Alsace, Craig Breen was in control at the top of the leaderboard, 24.6 ahead of Jure Lemes in 2nd, with Alistair Fisher in 3rd. Egon Kauer was nowhere to be seen. On to the second and final day for the Academy cars, and what an opportunity for Breen to take command at the top of the championship table. Just 9 stages stood between himself and back-to-back victories. It was a cautious start, only managing 4th fastest on the opening stage, but it was to get a lot worse on the following test. Co-driver Gareth Roberts called a pace note fractionally late, but late enough for the pair to go off the road, break the Fiesta's drive shaft and retire from the rally.
unfortunately, you know, I make a lot of mistakes in my time, but just Garrett, the co-driver, got a little bit caught out on a fast section coming downhill, and the note just came a wee bit too late at the end, and we just touched the bank on the outside and broke a shaft.
Juraj Lemez was now leading and hunting down his first victory of the year, and it was looking good, 34 seconds ahead of Alistair Fisher going into the midday service. Further back, Jose Suarez was still hanging on. The Spaniard was sitting comfortably in third. But one man not so comfortable was Sergei Karyakin. The Russian rolled out of Rally France on stage 12 and was joined in spectacular style by Italian and Pirelli-star driver Andrea Cragnola. Both joined Breen on the retirement list.
I made a mistake because I don't brake enough, and I went out of the road and I hit that big tree, so I'm out.
Which meant after an action-packed 2 days in the Alsace, Juraj Lemez took his debut Academy victory, holding off Alistair Fisher's challenge to spray the winner's champagne for the first time in 2011.
Bueno, tío. Puta madre.
However, as he was enjoying his moment in the limelight and accepting his applause, there was to be yet another twist in the French tale. Due to speeding on road sections between stages, a post-rally decision was taken by the stewards to impose a 5-minute penalty on Lemez, and he subsequently dropped to third. Alistair Fisher was therefore confirmed as the WRC Academy victor from Jose Suarez in second. It was also a good weekend for Sepp Wiegand and Molly Taylor, closing out the top 5 respectively. Neither Kauer nor Breen made it onto the leaderboard. In the championship, Kauer had been gifted a reprieve after Breen's retirement. His no score in France meant he stayed on 92, while despite not finishing the rally, Breen did take 6 bonus points for stage wins, closing the gap to 20. The WRC Academy was going down to the wire. Who would leave Great Britain crowned the first ever Academy champion and €500,000 richer? Join us after the break as we relive one of the most exciting finishes to a championship ever seen. Don't go away. Welcome back to the 2011 WRC Academy End of Season Review. This was it. After 5 captivating World Rally rounds, it came down to the wire in Wales. Estonia's Egon Kauer versus Ireland's Craig Breen. €500,000 at stake and the pride of becoming the first ever WRC Academy champion. It was a final round decider at Rally GB. The only way that realistically Breen would be able to win the championship was by winning the rally and accumulating extra bonus points for stage victories. To many, this was an insurmountable task, but the Irishman had not given up.
There's only one default approach really, and that's to go flat out right from the first stage. Okay, it's one that's it's faced with a lot of risk, but we have to do it. I think we if Egon finishes in second and we win, we have to win 14 stages of a total 17. So even if we slip up on the first 3 stages on Thursday evening, you know, it's leaving it all to play for the next 2 days. So we just have to drive absolutely on the limit from the start.
I would like to approach it really calmly and really safe, but I guess Craig will think differently and will push. So I think at some point we have to do the same.
Straight into the action and the start of what would go down in history as one of the closest finishes in the WRC. For Breen, his campaign began well. He won 2 out of 3 of the Thursday night stages. Day 2, and the Academy headed out into the forest for the start of the Welsh gravel stages. As we've seen all year, Breen was unable to switch on a good pace immediately, and instead it was Alistair Fisher who took the day's opening stage win. It would be his last of this year's championship. However, what came next was what outlined Craig Breen as a future champion of the sport. He punched in fastest time after fastest time, taking the next 6 stage victories, bringing his total at the end of Friday night to 8. The battle for the championship was on. The odds were still stacked against him, but with each stage win, he was slowly eating into Egon's championship advantage. Breen may have been dominating at the front, but Egon Kauer had his own strategy, and the Estonian knew exactly what he was doing. Sitting comfortably in second place was forcing the Irishman to win all 6 stages on the final day. That was Breen's only hope of winning the championship by a single point. Kauer was piling on the pressure. At the end of the second day in Wales, Craig Breen had a lead of over 4 minutes to Egon Kauer, but 25 points for the rally win would not be enough. He needed to win stages and collect bonus points if he were to keep the dream alive. As the final day dawned of the 2011 WRC Academy season, Craig Breen waited patiently at the start line. What looked like an impossible task at the start of the weekend was becoming a reality. Sheer pace and stage victories could win him this championship. But once again, the Irishman couldn't find a rhythm straight away and was off the pace. Instead, it was Kauer who was on an early morning charge, and he took the opening stage win. That meant the Estonian took 1 extra bonus point, and the best Breen could do now was win all remaining stages of the rally to draw level on championship points. If ever there was a time to dig deep, this was it. The Irishman responded valiantly. He took the remaining stage wins of the morning, wringing the neck of his Fiesta in the process. Back at service, his mechanics had some work to do changing a noisy gearbox. Despite now only being able to mathematically draw with Egon Kauer on points, the regulation stated that, should that event occur, it would go down to whichever driver has taken the most stage wins across the year.
This is the final furlong, 3 stages, and we have to win each one. It's going to be epic. I'm going to push as hard as I can, just as I've been doing all day, and I hope to God I can pull it off, but all we can do is try.
Service complete. It was back out for the final afternoon loop of the 2011 Academy Championship. For Breen, the charge continued. The man from Waterford in Ireland responded to the pressure with all the prowess of a champion. Keeping his head together, he won the following 2 stages, but Kauer was not done yet. As he sat at the start line of the final stage of the year, the difference between himself and Craig Breen was now just 1 point. If Breen won this final stage, they would draw level and it would go down to stage victories, and that was a statistic that swayed towards the Irishman. Breen would have achieved the impossible. For Kauer, it was do or die. Craig had completed the stage and set the pace, 18 minutes and 15 seconds dead. All he could do was wait for Kauer's time to come through, and the Estonian was absolutely on it as he came towards the end of the stage. The tension was palpable, and with Egon through, his time was called out.
22-1.
And the celebration said it all. The championship had come down to the final stage of the final round. Kauer was 7 seconds slower than Breen. The Irishman had done the unthinkable, taken 13 stage victories, drawn level on points, and won the first ever WRC Academy Championship. There is confirmation of Craig's victory in Wales, followed by Egon in second and Alistair Fisher closing out the podium positions.
We always believed that we could do it. Perhaps actually seeing the time that we've done it, no, it's just surreal. I'm still trying to come to terms with what's happened over the last 2 years, what's happened over the last couple of months with the academy, and finally to get here and to put it all down to the last stage and finally get it is just amazing.
Egon, you're smiling, but commiserations. You've proved yourself a winner on 3 occasions. How do you feel? It must be heartbreaking.
It's not easy. The last stage we were really pushing, but after we caught one car, we knew that there isn't going to be enough to beat Craig. So yeah, it wasn't a good feel.
A quick word for Craig Breen. Obviously, he's taken the championship, but it's been a fair battle between the two of you, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course, Craig has been pushing a lot, and we took the other strategy on this one, just to keep the car together, and Craig was pushing, the car hold on, so yeah, it paid off for him.
Could it have been any closer? Craig Breen and Egon Kauer tied on points. Breen took it on the season stage wins with an incredible 39 compared to Egon's 14, with Alistair Fisher closing out his year in third and Juraj Lemez fourth, with Brendan Reeves in fifth. What a year it has been, and what a finale. A champion had been crowned and the WRC Academy term had come to an end. It will be back next year. In the meantime, you can keep up to date with all the preview news for 2012 on WRC.com. These young men and women have graduated through the WRC Academy and cemented themselves as future stars of the World Rally Championship. But there can only be one winner, a name which is guaranteed to reverberate around the rally world for years to come. Craig Breen, 2011 WRC Academy World Rally Champion. We'll leave you with some of the best action from across the year, but for now, until 2012, it's goodbye.